Alright, hello everyone, I'm TheDeputation, here to show you all the stuff that I got at the Anaheim Great Train Expo of 2014. It was a pretty big show. It was advertised as their biggest Anaheim show yet. I mean, it was big enough to the point where if I saw an engine, a lot of times what I'll do, and a lot of people do, is if they see an engine, they'll try to remember where it was, then they'll come back to it. They'll keep looking, because you never know if you buy something that you might find something better. You don't want to waste all your money, first 10 minutes of the show. And so I kept forgetting where things were. So, I guess it was big enough to the point where that kept happening. Overall, it was a good show. I mean, I got to see my friend Ray. We had a blast. He had told me that the prices were outrageous, and some of the things I saw were pretty outrageous, but there were some good deals. Guess we can just kind of get rolling here. First thing is this Bachmann Spectrum Decapod. Now, I mean, this thing, at first I wanted an undecorated Decapod that this guy had for $80, brand new. Didn't look like it'd been out of the box, like for photos and stuff. It didn't really run much, but he had everything with it. But then while I was trying to find it, I couldn't remember. Like, I took a photo with my camera of kind of the stuff that it was near, so I was like, alright, I gotta look for Western Pacific diesels, because it was next to some Western Pacific diesels. Wasn't having any luck. So before I found, my brother was with me. He took me down there, so sorry I'm just kind of all over the place. And he was with me. We first looked at the layouts, then we went to look at the stuff that was for sale. And we kind of split up to try to find it, because he had purchased, you'll see in a second, a special passenger car. And then I decided, alright, it's time to get me some stuff. So I was trying to find the undecorated Decapod, and I couldn't find it. So then I found this Decapod, which in turn was a Rock Island one, a custom kind of thing. I could tell because the tender wasn't built with that type of decal. Plus, it wouldn't have the yellow lettering. But it was nice. It was new in the box. It hadn't been used much. For $70. The undecorated one was $80. So I figured, you know what? Screw it. This one, in my mind, I just liked it kind of better. It had everything already assembled on it. And then, ironically, I found the place that had the undecorated ones, like right after I bought it, but it had already sold. Not surprising, because it was a good deal for both of them. But the problem with this was, the guy told me it was DCC. But I kind of thought, all right, if it's got DC, I've run a lot of the Bachmann Spectrum engines I have are DCC. The 210-2, number 223, the 280-724, my 3-truck Climax, my 060T. Point is, a lot of my Spectrum engines, almost all of them, have DCC. So I'm like, alright, I'll be able to run a DC track, no problem. Was not the case. At first, I saw that if I guess I would say electrical contacts and what causes a short and what doesn't, you know that there's these insulated parts that kind of show what side is the, I guess I would say, insulated side. There's these little rubber bushings. You can't even see them really from this angle. There you go. You just look at the one below the coupler, and they're all supposed to be on one side. In most engines, it's on the driver's side, engineer side, meaning this side is what the side that those rubber bushings are on. And when it didn't run and when I put it on the track, I was like, all right, I saw that the bushings were kind of mixed up. One truck was on one side, the other was on the other side. So I took the tender shell off, and then I saw the DCC decoder. And the reason why it doesn't run, the reason why this DCC engine does not run on DC is because it's not a factory decoder. These factory decoders from Bachmann work fine on DC. They're DCC. So I'm pretty sure you get the point. Being this was not a factory decoder, someone added this. It would require a DCC controller to be able to run it on. And I tried many things, looking to try to change up the bushing area. I just tried everything more or less that I could. And I was like, you know what? I forgot. I have this Bachmann Spectrum Vanderbilt tender, and it's got the same kind of wiring concept. The difference is the wires are kind of crossed here. They're not supposed to be. They're not. No, it's not that they're not supposed to be. It's just that typically they just go straight in. In terms of when it's on a Spectrum Vanderbilt tender, it kind of crosses over. The big one is on the right side, and the smaller two wire one is on the left side. For this thing, it's big on the left side, small on the right side. Hope this kind of explains it. I'm spending a lot of time on this, but the point is, as soon as I connected this thing, it would run. It ran, but it can only run in forward because, like I said, the wires are reversed. So I'm gonna have to find a new tender for this thing. I don't feel like buying a DCC controller just for this one engine because my other DCC engines run fine without it. So I'm probably going to try to find just a standard Bachmann tender just like this one. I mean, I love the Vanderbilt tender, but the wires being crossed only allows it to run in forward. And if it has a tender light, everyone knows I'm going to want to run it in reverse. And plus, you know, you can't just have an engine that runs forward. But anyways, it's a nice engine. It does run very, very well with this tender because, like I said, it runs good and forward. And overall, I love it. It was a good deal for $70. And you'll see updates on the new tender later. I might sell this one. Don't pressure me. I have no idea what I'm doing yet. I've only had this thing for a couple hours. Alright, now on to a diesel that mainly my brother wanted, but I still bought it. You see, well, first I went with the Rio Grande Athearn GP38-2. I love this thing. The guy only wanted $20 and it's a powered Athearn. It just needs a heavy wheel cleaning and lubing and it'll be fine. Athearns are such great runners, and the headlight is insanely bright. The beacon is not operational, it's just kind of for show, and I loved it. Got it for 20 bucks. But then, so I bought that, then I was looking for the Decapod, found this one instead, and then after that I counted my money, still had 75 bucks left, so in total this was just 90. So I had 75 bucks left, so basically had about 170 because I also bought this Coke, so I'm kind of going all over the place. I am sorry. And so I was like, my brother had seen this thing earlier in the show, and then he was like, he was saying to me how much he really wanted it. And, you know, I wasn't really sure. At first he was going to buy it, but then he bought this awesome Santa Fe Coach, which you'll see later. It's not right here, that's why I'm not going to really show it right now. But you'll see it later. And so after bought the Decapod, I was like, alright, I got 75 bucks left. I knew that this Roundhouse 060, this guy had for sale, that I bought many stuff for in the past for $45. It was new in the box. Well, not new in the box, but it had its box with it. It was in the box. This thing was brand new, never been out of the box. And originally he wanted 50 and 45. That bring it up to 95. I only had 75 left, so I'm like, alright, I'm going to work this guy, and I did. I wouldn't call this scamming. It's just really good execution. So my brother was like, why don't you just tell him you only have $35 left? That way he'll get it down to 35. So I did that. So I was like, I took out the 220s in my wallet and gave them to my brother. I said, go buy the California Northern engine, which was 50, but he was going to work him down. I'm like, I'll handle this. And so first there's two guys handling this. One guy who he took it over and wanted to see if it ran, and it didn't, which worked out in my favor. It just needs a heavy wheel cleaning and lubing. Don't worry about it. That's child's play for me. And then the tender truck was off, but he put it back on. And I was like, look, dude, I've only got in quotes, I've only got $35 left in my wallet, you know, I just really want this engine. And he was like, alright, fine, I'll sell it to you. I was like, that, in my mind, that's a really good execution plan, because in total this would have been $90 for these two, which essentially wasn't worth it. I mean, $45 is worth this engine if it was in a really good running shape. Yeah, overall, cosmetically, it is. It's an MDC Roundhouse 060 with the slope back tender, oil bunker, ATSF 597. Beautiful little locomotive. It'll be a great runner when to lube it up and clean all the wheels, because they're very dirty. And so then after I bought it, walked over to my brother, and he was about to buy this thing. The guy had just come back from the bathroom, and this thing was listed at 50. Then the guy was nice enough to just sell it at 40. Because, I mean, $10, like this thing got, it was 45, went to 35. I mean, $10 isn't a big difference. If you're going to go like past 15 to 20, then you're probably not going to get anywhere. But that was really good execution overall to purchase these two engines. And they're all purchased with my money. My brother, I mean, I like the California Northern engine. I just could tell my brother really liked it, and, you know, and he already bought his Coach. So I thought I'd, you know, be nice and let him buy another diesel. Because if it were me, I would have bought another steam locomotive. But, you know, it's Proto 1000, if you're wondering. Just Proto 1000, division of Life Like. Athearn GP38-2 in the Rio Grande, and the MDC Roundhouse 060. And then lastly, for me that is, I purchased this SSW Daylight MDC Roundhouse Harriman Coach, specifically because my Harriman Coach, sorry, I don't know how to speak, SP, oh my god, see? SSW Harriman Consist, the Daylight Consist, had an observation. I got this all with the 605, which is bleh, over there as the gray smoke box. You can kind of identify it. Got that all in, as well as the caboose right here. and the auxiliary tender right by where the oil is, right there behind the white one. Got all that for Christmas for $50 freaking, and I loved it. But a couple months ago, the observation frame broke in terms of having the well, one of the trucks, the screw hole got stripped, and you couldn't put a bigger screw in it. It just wasn't going to be able to work. Then kind of the end piece right here broke off. It was just a mess. So the observation has not been used has been in pieces for a while, and I've been looking for a new frame. And I was walking by. It was the same guy who I bought this thing from, but it was earlier in the show. It was pretty early on. It was right after I bought the Decapod. I was walking back here, and I was walking by his stuff, and I just caught a glance of the daylight ski, and it said St. Louis Southwestern. It was an observation too, ironically, and I was just like, wow, I have to have that. It was like $5, so I was like, you know what, it don't matter. It's missing its windows, but it's fine because I'm just going to be using the frame. I have the better trucks for it, which are metal wheeled. Just gonna take the body off this thing, take the frame off it, repair the body of mine, and just put it on there. And then my SSW consists can be back to normal. And then when 605 returns after her major running gear overhaul, which I'm working on for the last couple months, then she'll be able to pull it again. So that is all the stuff that I bought. I know I've been kind of all over the place and haven't really given a full look over of everything. Let's go see the coach my brother bought. Alright, here it is. The Kato, or Kato, whatever you want to call it, corrugated business car and or observation in the Santa Fe scheme. My brother's a big Santa Fe buff. He loves his war bonnets. He has F7A matching war bonnet consists. One's powered, one's dummy. They're Athearn. And he's always been wanting to get his streamline consist built, you know. And he's like me. I prefer the observation types like this. Like the Harriman style, the squared in observation, not the teardrop or the cone shaped observation. Those are nice. I have a couple of them, but I prefer the squared off ones. And this one, I've been looking for this Kato, I don't care what you call it, business car for a long time. And these things go for good money. And he got it for $40, brand new in the box. And he couldn't be happier. I gotta tell you, I am too, because I really, really love this thing. And I've wanted one of these for a long time. I really didn't care what paint scheme you got. I know my friend Ray will love this thing. It's got the Santa Fe on the back. It says Topeka. Beautiful, beautiful coach. Has a detailed interior, which you can't see because of the glare. But absolutely beautiful. He got that for $40. That's what he paid with his money. Everything else I paid with my own money. Had about $160, about 170 actually, because we went to In-N-Out afterwards. But overall, fabulous day. I saw a lot of engines that I really wanted, but the prices were really awful in some places. But some people, like the guy who had the GP15 diesel, and as well as the guy who had the Decapod, they had some great deals. And overall, best show that I've been to, you know, because I've got a lot of good stuff. You know, mostly I get a lot of rolling stock and maybe 1 or 2 engines. Today it was 4 engines, 2 pieces of rolling stock. Well, I hope that all shows overall the stuff I got from the Great Train Expo at Anaheim. Probably will be going to the Bakersfield show in March, so that's what we look forward to next. It sucks because it's my last weekend off. You know, I know I'm pretty lucky getting to have 3 weeks off for winter vacation, but it sucks that it has to end. And I'm sorry that you really won't be seeing these things run. I mean, this thing runs fantastic. This thing runs great and forward, you know, because of the reversed wire tender. This thing runs good, just needs a wheel cleaning. This thing just needs a heavy clean. So you will likely see all those operating in the future, because in reality these things won't take much to get running. Just kind of giving you an overview of the engines. So once again, Spectrum Decapod, Proto 1000 GP15, MDC Roundhouse 060, and Athearn GP38-2, as well as the SSW Roundhouse coach, and the Kato corrugated business car observation. Great, you know, deals for us. Had a lot of fun. I love it. It was just me and my brother, because when my mom's there, she nags me about, you know, what I'm buying and everything, so it was fun. And I hope maybe my brother can take me to Bakersfield in March. Me and him have a blast. But that's all for now. Hope you guys enjoyed part 1 of the video, which was just pictures and videos of all the stuff that was at the show. If you have any questions on the engines or anything you saw, feel free to comment. And that'll do it for me today. Hope you guys enjoy New Year. I mean, I know I'm kind of late, but alright, this is the Deputation. Well, a little bit more of an update as the night goes on. It is still today, January 10th, the day that I went to the Great Train Expo in Anaheim. I decided to remove all the wheels out of the Athearn GP38-2, the rear Grand 3099, fully clean them because they were really dirty, oiled up the motor again, well not again, just oiled it up, fully greased it up, put all the stuff back in. The only thing I took out was the wheels and removed the shell to oil up the motor. And she's running really good, and I've been able to, my brother's been having a blast running the California Northern 112, the GP15, which is it's a really nice engine. And in reality, I only got it because I could tell, you know, it was nice, you know, I could tell that he really didn't want to leave that show without it, you know, because he had already spent his $40 on the corrugated Proto business car. And so now I looked it over, I'm like, you know, I really like this locomotive for 40 bucks, you know, and I made, like I said, I made that plan of action happen where I only had 75 bucks left, and I made a $45 engine, a $35 engine, and a $50 engine, a $40 engine. So that was a win-win overall because I got myself 2 steam engines and 2 diesels. So in general, I think that was the best thing to do. I guess I can just kind of let the GP38-2 pull the Rock Island tender because, like I said, this is the original tender to the Spectrum 210, but because it has a non-factory DCC decoder in it, it will not run on my DC track. See, the unique thing about the 3099 is that it has its own custom light. The beacon is just for display. I wish it worked. It'd be pretty cool. But I really like this engine. She's a beauty, and she runs really good after that wheel cleaning and oiling. Couldn't be happier. And being there are my SSW consist is blocking the lead turntable track, more or less a switch to it. I will just kind of run the 112, the California Northern Northern GP15, the Proto 1000, 112 right here. So you can kind of see, I mean, this engine is a great runner. It's exactly like my Walther's BNSF GP15, like entirely. Smooth operation, very slow, consistent. It's fantastic. It has a rear light too as well. It's a beauty. Let's try to get a good look at the backup light. Sorry if that view is kind of bad. Should give you the general idea on the Proto 1000 GP15. I guess now we can show you the Spectrum Decapod, even though it can only run it forward because of the one that's reversed wiring on the Spectrum Vanderbilt tender, which, like I said, is not with the engine. This tender is what came with the engine, but it has its own decoder that was not factory equipped, meaning it cannot run on my DC track. What I will be doing is ordering a new tender, which is not that much money, off Bachman's website, Parts website, and switching the shells. I could probably sell the frame in this thing, and plus with the new shell that I get from it, because I'll be switching the shells, so I'll probably put the other shell in this one. I could sell this tender probably for a lot of money because it has a DCC decoder in it. But I think for right now it'll be an auxiliary tender. We'll see. But like I said, I'll be getting a new tender and putting the shell of the Rock Island one onto the frame of the new tender. That way it'll just still be a Rock Island steel logo. This is custom. Spectrum did not make Rock Island standard decapods. I mean, a pretty good giveaway is that there's a yellow numbering, the 1110, with a white and red Rock Island decal as well. You can't really see, but it's, I think, kind of there. It's And also on the back, this looks like a decal or number was scratched out. And in general, the paint on the sides has a matte finish. It's not as shiny, so it gives me the illusion that it was a custom job. The guy I bought it from was a huge Rock Island fan. Like, almost all he had was Rock Island. But it's a nice locomotive. It runs fantastic, even though I can only run it in forward. But you know, it's still a beautiful runner. So enough with the yapping, and let's see this thing run.